thought it'd be really fun to do a van life story time. A lot of us have really random stories on the road. Just things happen. And one of the things you get really used to talking about with your van friends is poop. Or just how you go to the bathroom. It's not like where you're in a house where everyone just has a bathroom right there, easy access. And usually, like, when you're in your own van, you have a system, and I've only had to poop in a bag once. I was at the beach and there was no public bathrooms. It was the middle of the night, so I couldn't, and I couldn't, because it was the beach, it wasn't in a forest where I could just hop out, dig a hole, and do it. So this story, though, is kind of a mix between like a van life dating story and a poop horror story. So, that should tell you how uncomfortable this whole thing could have been, and kind of is. So, about a year and a half ago now, I think, I was dating this guy for just about a month, and he was living in a truck bed camper, like the overbed big ones that like slide in. And at the time, we had just gotten back into this town we were hanging out in after a little trip to the coast, and my van broke down. He was a couple days behind me, so I kind of just roughed it in my van in front of the mechanic. But once he came back into town, it was really nice being able to not sleep in like stealth camp in town. I don't like stealth camping because I just don't sleep well, and Shasta doesn't sleep well. She's barking all night. So I would just, obviously, as we were dating, so I would sleep in his rig. And this one night, we're out in the forest, and as we're going to sleep, my stomach is gurgling a little bit, but I didn't think anything of it. Usually if that happens, it's maybe just a bit of gas, and I kind of just, go to sleep, and yeah. It wasn't that. So I wake up with this like piercing stomach ache, and I knew something was not going to be great. So if I was in my own van, I would know where the shovel was. And I mean, to start this, if I was having tummy rumblies before I went to bed, I would just hop out and maybe try to go to the bathroom before I go to sleep. But because I was in someone else's rig, I was like, I'll just push through it. It should be fine. So I wake up, I shoot up, and I'm like, this is happening right now. So I wake my buddy up, my date up, and I'm like, I need to go right now. Where's your shovel? And he's half asleep, and he just starts running around his camper trying to find a shovel. I go outside, I'm like hopping back and forth on different feet, trying to hold in the mess that's about to happen. And he's like looking in the cab of his truck. Finally, he hands me the shovel. I run into the woods as far as I could think I could go and give myself enough time to dig a hole. And so I get as far as I can, and then he's like, not even, like, I was just like, I don't want him to hear this. We're not there yet. And so he's like just taking his time, putting things away while I can like see the lights on his truck. Like I said, I couldn't go very far because if I went too far, I wouldn't have had time to dig a hole. So my hole is dug. In a couple seconds, I'm like waiting for him to go inside. As he's like shutting the door, I'm pulling my pants down, and it just happened. Luckily, I think I did miss the hole a little bit, but there's things you can do to fix that. So yeah, made it by like any longer, I would have shot myself, and I wasn't in my van, so I wouldn't have had extra clothes. So it worked out. And the next morning, him and I talked about it, and because he was half asleep, he didn't think, I have a toilet in my camper. I can put, and I didn't even think to ask that because I don't have a toilet in my camper or in my van. And what he does when he does go to the bathroom he doesn't use the black tank. He would put a bag in the toilet for emergencies. He was like, I could have set that up for you if you told me what was going on. And I was like, why else would I be asking you for a shovel at 3 a.m? Yeah, so we had buffalo. I had buffalo cauliflower, but he had chicken wings from the same place, and I don't think that they use separate oil for what they're frying. So I think I ate cauliflower buffalo bites that was like just soaking in chicken grease, which I haven't eaten meat since 2016, so like directly, so I think that was why I had a really bad reaction. He didn't have any sort of reaction to that place, it was just me, so that was very fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very embarrassing and quick story time. Dating on the road isn't easy, but luckily this whole thing happened with someone who lives on the road and understands that things are just, you kind of cross lines earlier than you would not being in a van. If you were in a sticks and bricks house, like, you don't usually start talking about poop or like needing help with poop until like 3 to 6 months. So 3 weeks in, he was helping me find a shovel so that I could go not poop my pants. We don't see each other. I'm still single, so that, I wouldn't say that was the straw that broke the camel's back, but it was. I very much. He even said after, it was so sweet. He said that if I had shat myself, he would have helped me clean up and given me clothes to wear. So he was a van life gentleman, you could say. But yeah, yeah. I can't. Yeah, I'm about to post this on the internet, so hope you guys found some humor in this. I hope that it kind of demystified some of the romanticized part of van life, because it is not easy. You are roughing it for sure, especially if you don't have a toilet. So maybe this whole conversation made you want to maybe put a toilet in your van. My next rig is definitely going to have a toilet, and not because of that story, but it's just easier. Like, that, yeah, the things like that wouldn't happen if you did have a toilet in your van. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and tagging along for this maybe TMI story time. The next ones probably won't be so graphic or dramatic. They'll probably be dramatic, because why else would you make a story time if it wasn't a good story? So yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.